Have you ever thought about finding a secret that could unlock the mysteries of a lost civilization? A clue written not in one, but 3 different languages. It's like a giant puzzle from the past, and the answer is right in front of you. You just need the key to solve it. This was the Rosetta Stone. But it wasn't just an ordinary stone, it was like a time machine, a special discovery that helped reveal the secrets of Egyptian civilization from thousands of years ago. For a long time, historians couldn't understand the ancient Egyptian language. It was a mystery with no answers until this stone changed everything. So let's go back in time and uncover the amazing story behind it. The date was July 15th, 1799. Napoleon's soldiers were in Egypt, but their mission wasn't just to win a war. Napoleon was also leading a huge archaeological expedition to uncover the history of Egypt. During this expedition, a French officer, Pierre-François Bouchard, made an incredible discovery. In a place called Rosetta, he found a strange stone. It was a large granite slab covered in writing, but not just in one language. There were 3 different languages carved into it. This mysterious stone soon became a wonder that fascinated curious minds all over the world. Now, you might be wondering, what is the Rosetta Stone? Well, this was a black stone, 3.5 feet long and 2.5 feet wide. Its most amazing feature was that the same text was written in 3 different languages: Egyptian hieroglyphics, Demotic Egyptian, and Ancient Greek. At that time, Egyptian hieroglyphics had not been decoded yet. But experts who studied the stone realized that the text in all 3 languages was the same. If they could understand the ancient Greek part, they could also figure out the hieroglyphics. This would be a huge achievement because Egyptian hieroglyphs were written in many places, especially in pyramids and temples. This meant that if someone could read Greek, they could unlock the other 2 languages, and if they cracked this language, they could read the oldest texts in history. If these texts were understood, then history itself would become much clearer. And yes, this is why the Rosetta Stone was so important. Now, the question is, where is the Rosetta Stone today? In 1702, the stone was placed in the British Museum. Since then, experts from all over the world have been studying it. That same year, a European scholar, John Acker-Lord, managed to decode some words. He identified royal names in the Greek section, which also appeared in the Demotic and Egyptian parts. From their placement, he realized these were names. By matching these symbols, he discovered some royal names in simple words like much and temples. However, like many others at that time, Bullard believed that all Demotic signs were alphabetical, meaning each letter had its own sound. But another European scholar, Thomas, completely disagreed. He thought that some Demotic signs were logograms, symbols that represented whole words or sentences. Then, in 1804, Thomas decoded more Demotic words like Pharaoh and Egypt. Later, another scholar, Jean-François Champollion, who knew many scripts and languages, including Egyptian Coptic, managed to decode names like Ramses and Thutmose. On September 14, 1822, Champollion claimed to have decoded the entire text. Now, in early 1950, the first complete translation of the Rosetta Stone was published. After the translation, it was discovered that the writing on it was from 196 BCE. This stone was made in celebration of the 13-year-old Pharaoh of Egypt, Ptolemy V, to become king, and a decree was written on it that defined the new principles of the new Pharaoh. This decree was issued by a group of priests who had gathered in the city of Memphis. The stone contained matters related to the Egyptian priesthood. It contained laws for maintaining the temple and some rituals, such as how to perform them, like how to bury a sacrificial animal, etc. In fact, at that time, Egypt was a multicultural society where two languages were spoken. The first, ancient Greek, which the conquerors brought there, and the second, the native language, Demotic Egyptian. Hieroglyphs were not in use as much at that time, but they were also included to keep their culture alive. The main purpose of this stone was to re-establish the control of the Ptolemaic rulers over Egypt. When Ptolemy V was 12 years old, his coronation was officially held in Memphis. The Memphis Decree was issued 7 years after his rule began. The decree stated that Ptolemy had given a large gift to the temples, which was silver and grain, and it also stated that in the 8th year of his reign, the Nile River was unusually high, and he dammed the extra water to use for the benefit of the farmers. Because of this good deed, the priest decided that the king's coronation and birthday would be celebrated every year, and that all the priests would serve him as they did the other gods. The decree ends with the instruction that a copy be kept in each temple, written in the language of the gods, means Egyptian hieroglyphics. The language of documents means demotic, and the ancient Greek used by the Ptolemaic government. The support of the priests was essential for the Ptolemaic kings to effectively continue their role. The high priests of Memphis were especially important because they were the highly religious authorities of the time. Their influence was felt throughout the kingdom, and since this decree was issued in Memphis rather than Alexandria, it is clear that the young king wanted the priests to actually support him. If you're confused by all this and wondering, let me tell you, Alexandria was the power center of the Ptolemaic, while Memphis was the old capital of Egypt. So here, we can see politics clearly and understand how people were thinking at that time. Therefore, even though the government of Egypt was Greek-speaking, after the conquest of Alexander the Great, the decree was written similarly, like 3 decrees before it in the Egyptian language, so that it could be understood by the common people and the priests. There is still no simple and final English translation of this decree, because the knowledge of understanding ancient languages is constantly evolving, and there are some minor differences between the original text. The decipherment of the Rosetta Stone also exposed many myths related to ancient Egypt. For example, for many years, people thought that the secret chambers inside the pyramids were built for the study of the priests there. But because of the Rosetta Stone, it was finally confirmed that they were actually tombs, and the goods kept there were for the afterlife after death. Now, you probably already know this, but all these things have been known because of the Rosetta Stone. And many other similar things have been discovered that you can find and read in many books. The purpose of making this video is not to tell you about translation, but rather, I wanted to tell you about a stone that opened the door to an entire civilization. The deciphering of the Rosetta Stone was one of the most important events in history, which helped us understand how advanced our ancient civilizations actually were. Maybe in future we uncover the unsolved mysteries and formation of these pyramids. Anyways, if you liked the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel and share it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And always remember, truth is hidden in plain sight. Only the seekers will find it.